Welcome to the Cryptonomatron. Today I'm doing a review on SyncFab ICO. I had a lot of requests to do a review on this, so I caved, I bent like a reed in the wind, and here it is for you. Now, what is SyncFab? It is a supply chain management tool that will allow you to procure, track, and organize your local parts production. So you can source something like CNC machining or welding near you. Initially, it'll be for the USA. I'm sure they've got aspirations of going global. Now, if you don't know what CNC is, it's actually computer numerical control. It just means use these machines to cut and manufacture parts, basically using a computer to control the cutting, etc. So it's not that complicated, but let's see how they're going to go forward and see whether this is an interesting ICO. As far as the competition goes, I don't believe there is any for this particular ICO, and that's a real good selling point for me. They are pretty unique. There are not going to be any other companies coming out trying to do a blockchain for this kind of supply chain management, which is good. They've obviously identified finding parts manufacturers as a big problem in the US in particular, and if you can't find them in the US, it's going to be difficult globally as well. Even a quick Google turned up quite a few results for individual companies, but no real platform that you could get your parts manufactured on. You'd have to go through the lengthy process of contacting each company individually, telling them your requirements, getting a quote, the typical way that business has been conducted previously before blockchain technology came along. So this technology could be quite disruptive for the industry if they can implement. As far as I'm aware, they don't have any competition, even centralized or decentralized, so that's a big bonus for them. So the problems they want to solve are handily provided for me in this short presentation. There are 3 documents on their homepage. There's the white paper, there is this presentation, and there's also a one-pager as well with some very brief facts and figures. So let's look at what they're actually trying to solve here. What are the pains of the industry that they're going to help go away? Well, first off, it's very difficult for small businesses, to get anything manufactured. Basically, manufacturers prefer larger orders, so they prefer large companies, and this doesn't allow smaller innovators or entrepreneurs, smaller manufacturers to get involved. It's very difficult, it's expensive, it really is time-consuming and annoying. I used to run a company in Bangkok, so I know, I've got experience, and we used to have to really search high and low for companies that were willing to fabricate stuff for us. So it's difficult, it is a pain, and this app, this blockchain, this project should hopefully go some way to making it a lot easier for just Joe Blogs on the street with a small business to access parts manufacture. So the other thing is there's an opaque procurement process. Again, there's no visibility, there's no transparency. Using a blockchain will obviously solve that. 31% of buyers, they say here, cite finding the right manufacturing supplier has been a problematic issue. I completely agree with that. I think that's, your first point of contact is always going to be on the internet now. You Google, you might not find anything, you might have to search for a long time on the internet to find something that might even be suitable for what you're looking for, and then you've got to contact them and maybe visit the factory. It's very, very difficult. Another problem they say is outdated technology. So current tech and manufacturing processes are outdated, they say. Inefficient product procurement processes account for a yearly loss of 1.5 billion in revenue within North American businesses. So, again, it's the old world, isn't it? It's the phoning a company up, the purchase orders being sent, paper, it really is antiquated now, and now we have blockchain technology. Hopefully this will all go away. The other problem, and the final one here, is little to no IP protection. So there's no protection for your intellectual property. If you go to a factory and get something made, it can be easily stolen or copied. And it says here 39% of businesses have experienced a breach in the last 12 months. So that's not a surprise. And of course, having the immutable ledger and the blockchain will go some way in protecting that and curbing that problem. So the aims of SyncFab are to provide a supply chain platform that is tokenized, so it incentivizes people to use it. They're obviously going to use the blockchain, a public blockchain and a private blockchain as well. And they're going to have an app that will allow people to find manufacturing plants or find parts manufacturers, so it'll be a lot easier than the current model, which is very tedious and time consuming and annoying, and that will be eliminated, so you won't have to use any intermediaries. There'll be no third parties. You'll be going straight to the manufacturers, getting quotes easily, and hopefully being able to get your equipment manufactured. Now, obviously this is initially focused on computer numerical control machining and milling, welding as well, I believe was mentioned on the website. But obviously you can see this being applied to a lot broader applications within the industry. So they're going to connect you directly using the app, and this obviously is going to be a benefit to the manufacturers as well, as they will get customers straight away. It will all be done through smart contracts on the blockchain, so you won't have to worry about getting paid. It will really, really improve and potentially be a big disruptor to this industry. So this handy guide that they've provided me, it's available on the website for download, as I mentioned. It has got all the information really that you want to know about. I mean, you know, you can do your own research, you can go further into the market analysis and everything else, and we'll take a quick look at the global market for CNC machining in a second, but you know, it's all here for you to understand why this is quite important, why it's going to be so disruptive. If you look at the global market here, you've got a $500 billion potential market here, and that's for global precision metal fabrication. Now, when I say precision metal fabrication, we're not talking about some blacksmith banging metal on an anvil. We're talking about machining here, milling, the CNC machining. So it is a very, almost like a niche within metal fabrication or other fabrication. You also have welding and numerous other different metal fabrication techniques, casting, forging, etc., etc. So that's just for precision metal fabrication. 75 billion for the US machining and metal stamping market alone. So you know that's phenomenal, and we use metal everywhere. You'd be very surprised actually how much industry is geared towards or around metal manufacturing, inspection, you know, maintenance. It really is a phenomenal amount of money. And in California alone, where they are located in Silicon Valley, 9.5 billion from machine shops in California receipts alone, and that's working at a 50% capacity. They're not chugging away at 100%. So the market validation, they say there's growing demand in aerospace for composite materials, etc., electric vehicles, Internet of Things, medical devices, robotics, drones. So many industries use CNC machining. We really do. I mean, it is pretty ubiquitous in everything these days. So 133 million Alibaba users are involved in Chinese offshore manufacturing. 27,000 machine shops in the USA, and that's growing every year, and that's based on an economic consensus on machine shops, and 10 times more Californian imports than exports. So that's a figure from the US Trade Administration. So that's basically them telling you that they have a market that they're confident about exploiting going into the future. So this site from Research Nester, and I'll leave the link below as usual, they've obviously done a study that they want to sell you, but they have some basic information on this page. They look at the market, and first of all they explain what CNC is. They say it's a machine which is comprised by a mini computer that acts as a control unit of the machine. In CNC machine, data is directly fed into the mini computer and the instructions are given by a keyboard. The program is stored in the memory of the computer and the operator can write and edit the program according to the requirement. It provides additional pliability and computational facilities. It works according to the program which is fed to it. And all the process is carried out very efficiently and effectively. It works like a robot, they say, and hence the accuracy rate for the process is very high. It reduces human errors with less accessibility of toolware. Of course, once you put the program in, the mill starts to do what it wants, like the robotic arm goes in and cuts out little parts and manufactures what is actually in the program. So that's essentially how it works. Now, the market, they say, is expected to expand at a rate of 6.5% over the forecast period between 2017 and 2024. The market stood at US 52 billion in 2015 and is expected to grow to 92 billion by the end of 2024. So obviously the demand for the machines is going to increase due to the fact that they are time efficient and there's no human error. There's also a lot of an emerging market in the developing world. As they mention, geographically, the market is led by Asia Pacific, which is interesting, and I didn't know that, but the region accounts for approximately 35% of the market share in 2015. China and India have been witnessing robust growth in terms of industrialization, so they are growing economies, and they will require more and more CNC machining in the future, whereas Europe is slowing down. So SyncFab are primarily concentrated on the US market, but no doubt they'll probably have global ambition. And if you look at the different machines that CNC can operate with, they've got lathes, mills, grinders, drills, plasma cutters, electric discharge machining, automated welding, winding machines, shaping machines, and the industries: automobile, aerospace, defense, electronics, healthcare, metal and mining, and embroidery, and probably more that aren't listed there. But that's just to give you a rough idea just how big this market potentially is. So having this on the blockchain allows you to tokenize and obviously create incentives for the users. And looking at the different benefits for innovators, for people that are looking to get things made, they will have cheaper and high quality quotes from the source directly. And we know what a pain, well, I certainly know what a pain it is to try and get quotes for, especially for machining and things and stuff of that nature. It really is a major pain. Also, they'll be able to purchase on demand using the interface, the app, and you'll be able to track and then reorder as well. So, you know, this really will change the way that you deal with these companies. You'll be able to access a network of vetted manufacturers, so you know shady or dodgy manufacturers will be eliminated. Again, it will incentivize you to use the system, so manufacturers will be incentivized to provide the best service. And you will have secure transactions and communications through smart contracts on the blockchain. And that means, you know, pretty much whatever is agreed upon and is transacted is there on an immutable ledger and cannot be denied or forged or faked or or lost. So that's the advantage it really gives you as the buyer. Now, if you're a manufacturer, you also will have benefits. By using the blockchain, you will eliminate marketing costs by having buyers directly connect to your manufacturing facility. If you're on the app, if you're on the system, you're going to reach a lot more people anyway. You will get guaranteed payments through smart contracts, which is fantastic. Now, I know from experience of running businesses that payments are not always forthcoming on time, and in fact, many businesses have to go and chase payments. You know, you might have a 30-day invoicing program. that might be extended to 60 days, even 90 days in some cases. And I know some in oil and gas are doing 120 day invoices, and that's just ridiculous. Small businesses or smaller businesses that rely on turnover can't sustain that kind of length of invoice completion or invoice payment delivery. So guaranteed payments through smart contracts is really, really a big thing. And it means once you've done the job and you've sold the product, you get paid. And you know, with the blockchain, with the smart contracts, that really, really is a game changer. You get money in your pocket straight away. There's no chasing, there's no hunting, and that's really frustrating for companies, you know, when clients refuse to pay for provided services or products. So moving on, you will have complete control of your pricing and your capabilities on the platform as well. And also you will have less headaches of overhead and processes to focus on producing the best quality products. So all these mountains of paper in the office can be eliminated to a degree, especially when it comes to procurement and delivery. So it's a game changer, certainly. It's very disruptive, and it's beneficial both to innovators, people looking to manufacture goods, and also for the hardware manufacturers themselves. So how does it work? You can see this excellent infographic, and I have to thank SyncFab for producing such quality material that makes it really easy for me to deliver a video. I don't have to sift through loads and loads of paperwork to find out really what I want to give to you guys, to show you guys on the video what this is all about. This is as far as presentation is concerned, and I'm getting sidetracked here, but I just have to say this is superb. Presentation is impeccable on this one, and obviously that will go into the positives later on during my verdict. But using the blockchain means that you can search and procure parts from the network through the SyncFab app, through the platform. You can then secure and streamline orders with smart contracts. There's no messing about. It's all done for you automatically, and that's really, really important. And that's really disruptive to this industry, considering this industry is probably living still in the 1950s or 60s. And then you can validate, record, and execute on the blockchain on the immutable ledger. There's no denying here. There's no changing, moving the goalposts. You get exactly what you ordered. There will be an escrow for payments, etc. I mean, it just really, it's exactly what this industry is crying out for, I think. So they have a demo, and that's fantastic. They have a minimal viable product. You can actually log in and use it. So that's what I'm going to do now. So you will come along with me on this journey of discovering how cool this system is. And now it looks very, very polished already. The user interface looks pretty intuitive. So let's have a look. So let's get started. So we've got to update the settings, I guess, of what we want to order. Now I've signed in as an innovator or a buyer, and not as a manufacturer. There is an option in the demo to sign in as a manufacturer as well, so you can go in and put your factory, if you like, online, or your machine shop online. So you've got your profile settings here, which is interesting. You have your payment settings, so you can actually add your card or bank information to begin using it properly. You can unlock your enterprise settings, so you can find enterprise documentation that fits your organizational procedures, and then you can submit your first order. So you've got to, I think you've got to probably complete all the first stages before you do this, but let's just have a look. So this is your RFQ, your order reference, and you can create a new project folder, parts numbers, part names, quantity, how fast you need the production to be, and the sizes as well. And you can also supply your own materials, or you can choose from a list of metals there, which is very, very interesting. You can upload files, which is fantastic. I mean, this is actually beyond what I was expecting this demo to be. I'll be honest with you. The more I'm actually looking at this project, the more I'm impressed, I have to say. A lot of people were asking me to do a review on this, and I saw it a few days ago, because I'm doing a spreadsheet at the moment, as you guys might well know. I'm also going to open a Telegram group, and we're going to have a smart contract system for people that want to invest in pre-sales that have a higher allocation than most people would be comfortable going in with individually. So we can all basically go in at smaller amounts, myself included. You know, this project came across my desk, and I thought, you know, that looks quite interesting. It's an interesting concept. It's a different idea, but whilst I've been going through the review, I'm actually really enjoying this because it really is very good. So I think you know which way I'm leaning on this one already. But anyway, I'm getting distracted here. So I'm impressed with the demo. You can probably tell. So you can upload your drawings and then finalize the details here, I think. Yep. So yeah, what a fantastic system. You've got a chat interface here. You can talk with people. This is really, really impressive. As far as demos are concerned, you don't usually get this level of a demonstration or minimum viable product on an ICO, and you certainly don't get something that looks or interacts as good as this. This is pretty impressive. And a look at the tech. I'm not going to go really in depth here. If you want to know more about the tech they're going to implement, please do read the white paper. There is a technical overview. There's a lot more information about the blockchain, the tokenization and the ecosystem in there. I don't really want to dwell on that. It makes the video far too long and people get bored. I know how you guys are. So just to basically summarize, they're going to use the web platform, as you've seen already, which is very, very intuitive and very nice, very easy to use. And all of the technology is mentioned here, the workflows, you know, the decentralized app and all the rest of it is all included into the white paper, smart contracts, etc., etc., etc. And it's all well outlined, very well written, and even for someone like me who's a layman and I'm not a developer, it's very easy to understand and go through. So again, I always say, please look at the white paper before you make any investment decisions, especially in ICOs. This one's very polished and has a lot of information that you may find interesting. So the token use is as follows. The MFG is the ticker. The MFG token is a utility token. It is essentially the fuel on the ecosystem, on the blockchain. It's used on the SyncFab platform to reward purchasers and manufacturers alike. Also to make payments, to protect intellectual properties, to promote trust and transparency through the execution of smart contracts. Now, you'll be able to use it to create unique bid auctions to incentivize manufacturers for faster quotes with paying with the MFG token. You will also be able to claim loyalty rewards in MFG tokens, and you can also offer them for consistent reorders. So if customers come back to you, you can incentivize them with the token. As a buyer, you can also qualify on the platform because you've already made a commitment to own or hold the MFG token. And manufacturers can provide discounts on the quoted price with MFG tokens as well. So the token use is fairly extensive, and they've obviously had a think about it. It's not the easiest thing to tokenize, I suppose, this manufacturing blockchain idea, but I think the way they've done it, it works out rather well. Yet again, referring to this excellent presentation they've provided on the website, the token sale breakdown is as follows. The minimum goal is 500 Ether. I presume they've met that already. There doesn't seem to be a ticker on the site, so you can't see how much they're raising. They are at pre-sale at the moment. I have to stress, if you're going to invest, you get a bonus at pre-sale of 20%. So it would be in your interest to go and invest right now if this SyncFab ICO is of interest to you. The minimum goal, 500 Ether or 500,000 US dollars, given Ether is about $1,000 at the moment. The soft cap overall is 15,000 Ether, which is 15 million US dollars, with a hard cap of 30 million US dollars or 33,000 Ether. The token name, obviously MFG. Token price, base price is 5,000 MFG for 1 Ethereum. As I mentioned, they are having a 20% bonus in pre-sale, so you will get 6,250 MFG for 1 Ethereum. It currently works out about 14.5 cents with an Ethereum price at about $980 today after the bloodbath over the last 48 hours of bad news. There are 300 million MFG tokens for sale out of a total supply of 1 billion. The token allocation will be as follows. 50% will be for software, 15% for marketing, 15% for operations, 5% for legal, 5% will be held in reserve, and 10% will be used for Smart MFG Tech Limited. The funding allocation, 30% is put aside for the token sale. As you can see, 300 million MFG out of 1 billion. The partnership adoption pool will receive 30%. The tech development at SyncFab will receive 15%, Team and Bounty 10%, and Smart MFG Tech will receive 15%. So as I mentioned, the public pre-sale is currently ongoing. It ends on February the 15th. And that will be when the main token sale starts. So it's in your interest to get in early, as you'll get a 25% bonus. So any unsold tokens will be burned or destroyed. And they have had a private pre-sale as well. Strategic partners got in very, very early last November. We don't know how the bonuses work there, but we do know from the white paper that there was an exclusive pre-sale before the public pre-sale, so private pre-sale if you like. There was a private pre-sale, then a private pre-sale, then a public pre-sale, then a main sale. Whoa. So exclusive pre-sale buyers or private pre-sale buyers received a bonus of up to 50%, but there was no minimum buy-in there as well. So I assume that would involve larger buyers too, as well as just normal private buyers. And that started last November. It's already concluded. We're now in pre-sale, public pre-sale, and there's no minimum to take part. All payments are in Ethereum. The token sale address is on the website. I believe US investors can participate, and you have to complete KYC before they'll give you your tokens, but you can purchase straight away without finishing off the KYC, so you don't have to fiddle about and mess around trying to upload documents when you're intent on purchasing. So you can purchase first and then do all the paperwork later on. SyncFab do have a bounty campaign. It is much the same as most of the bounty campaigns you'll be familiar with. Details are posted on bitcointalk.org, and I will post the link below as per usual. Now, the bounty campaign, the allocation is as follows. 30% will go to the signature bounty, totaling a number of 150,000 MFG tokens. The media article or YouTube bounty, 20% or 100,000 MFG tokens. Twitter bounty, 20%, again, another 100,000 MFG tokens. Translation and moderation bounty, 20%, another 100,000 MFG tokens. Telegram bounty, only 5%, 25,000 tokens. And newsletter, 25,000 tokens as well, another 5%. So, you know, again, normal rules apply. Read it, fill in the application forms, and then check the spreadsheets for your participation and your allocation as well. Dead easy. Nothing out of the ordinary here. Again, your bounty will depend on the stakes and the amount of work that you actually put into it. So back to their fantastic presentation for the roadmap section. And SyncFab was conceived even in Q4 2013. So they've been thinking about this application or platform for quite a while. Maybe not blockchain related, but certainly something to put innovators in touch with manufacturers. Q2 2015, they launched the local product development, design and manufacturing ecosystem. And then Q1 2016, San Francisco and San Leandro selected SyncFab for STIR Civic Technology Partnership Program. In Q3 2016, the White House and the Department of Energy, I think that is, add SyncFab into the Clean Energy Smart Manufacturing Innovation Institute, the CESMII. In Q3 2017, last year, SyncFab launched the Regional Advanced Manufacturing Parts Procurement Platform. And Q4 last year, SyncFab MFG token pre-sale began in November with a private pre-sale and a private pre-sale as well. In Q1 2018, SyncFab are having their token sale, which is happening right now, in fact. Q2 2018, the MFG token will integrate into the existing 2.0 platform. Q3 2018, the buyer blockchain smart contracts will be implemented, and Q4 2018, the manufacturer blockchain smart contracts will be formatted as well. So by 2019, SyncFab 3 will launch, and it will then be the decentralized smart manufacturing blockchain platform that they hope to implement. So let's briefly look at the team here. They have two slides on their presentation. One is the team itself and the other one is the advisory body. Both equally impressive, I must say. I did have a look at some of them on LinkedIn. Jeremy Goodwin's the CEO. Now, importantly, and you know I like my CEOs and founders that are involved in industries that are going to apply the blockchain technology. Jeremy's no exception. He served as Chief Financial Officer of a construction materials company in China, and also floated it on NASDAQ in an IPO. He had over 2,000 employees working for him, so very impressive there. Andy is the strategy officer, and he's a successful entrepreneur. He's founded companies with millions of monthly visitors, with virtually zero spent on advertising. Jay Ligda's the CTO. He's a self-educated technologist. He's been in the development community for now 20 years. Dennis Delgado is the Chief Design Officer, over 10 years in art and design. Victor Nguyen is the VP of Product and Operations, and he's got vast experience in startups as well. Ben Gerstein is the VP of Marketing, 12 years in digital marketing. Sharon is a UI UX designer based in the Bay Area. Tam is hands-on experience as a blockchain engineer, and Ali is also the developer for the blockchain, over 10 years of experience in full stack development. So the advisory body is fairly impressive, as you can see. A lot of well-known names there that sort of do the circuits. I think Simon Cocking there, the marketing advisor, he's been involved in over 18 ICOs previously, but there's a lot of big name companies you can see above the or below the photographs. Mike Jones involved with MySpace before, and Dollar Shave Club. I think they sell those razors online, and they don't deliver to Thailand anyway, so I still have to pay ultra high premium for any reasonable razors over here, unfortunately. Gil has been involved at PayPal and eBay before. Jeff at Dollar Vigilante, and Peter Moritz at JP Morgan and Vibery, interestingly enough. Simon we've mentioned already. Again, another line of impressive advisors at the bottom there. I'll just pick out Michael Wong, worked for KPMG and Walt Disney, and Chris has worked for Apple as well. So you can go to their LinkedIn. The website's got links to all their profiles and a lot more detail on all of them. I would say that this is an extremely strong team, both in core development and advisory sense, and obviously I have absolutely no qualms about them being able to implement this technology. They're already 90% there. The partnerships they have are just as impressive as the rest of the product here. They are partnered with the city of San Leandro in California, the mayor's office in San Francisco, loads more, including the US Department of Energy. They have private partners to help them get the ICO off the ground. Amazix, Kick ICO, ICO Watchdog, Ocean Law, Bay Area Advanced Manufacturing, and MT Connect. And also they have academic partners, Berkeley, UCLA, Stanford, Cornell, and MIT. So onto the community now. They have the usual social media channels, including Telegram, Kakao Talk, Bitcoin Talk, Instagram, Medium, Reddit, Facebook, and Twitter. And they also have a YouTube channel, I believe, and also a depository on GitHub. So the Telegram channel has 5,751 members and it's growing exponentially, I believe, at the moment. There have been a lot of people asking me to do reviews on this ICO, so I caved in and did one, and I'm glad I did. Community support is building for this. Also on their Twitter, they have 6,303 followers, and I did a Twitter audit on them as well. They are 97% real followers, so community support strong with this one. And on GitHub, as I mentioned as well, you can view the smart contract, that's quite reassuring for a lot of people that are potentially going to invest. Okay, it's verdict time, and first off, the positives as usual. Number one, this is a very disruptive ICO to the industry it's involved in. The industry's still stuck in the 1950s and 60s. I know this because I work in similar industries, or I did in the real world before I started making these videos. So I understand how disruptive this technology is going to be, and let me tell you, it really could change things for the better. And that goes hand in hand with solving the real problems of procurement, amongst other things. Procurement really is probably the biggest one. How do you find the things you want to manufacture, especially if you're a smaller innovator or a smaller buyer? It's very difficult. Number three, they have a working product and a demo already. I logged in the tech section and showed you. It's very impressive. User interface is very intuitive, easy to use, looks very good. And again, it gives you that confidence going forward that you're putting your money somewhere that potentially could give some good value. Number four, it's an all-star team and advisory body. It's certainly no problems with them implementing this. Number five, presentation of this ICO. The material is excellent. The white paper is fantastic. The one-pager and obviously that presentation that half my video has been built around is very helpful. All the website, the token sale itself, excellent. Number six, market cap on exchanges. It should allow some room for growth. This is going to be quite a big ICO, I think. We're only at pre-sale at the moment, remember, and I think they've raised at least over $1 million so far. Their target is quite high at 30 million US hard cap. So, I think even if they do sell out, that when it does hit the market, it does hit the exchanges, it should be around about 70 to $75 million, and that will allow quite a lot of growth, I think, going forward for this project. Number seven, it's a fairly low token price, about 14 and a bit cents at the moment with the current price of Ether and the 20% bonus at pre-sale, and that's attractive. Number eight, they have a multi-billion market in the US alone. CNC manufacturing, welding, this kind of procurement is a multi-billion dollar industry. If they can just get a little piece of that, then they'll be doing very, very well, and it could be potentially very lucrative for them. Number nine, and something that's very important, is they do not actually have any competition in this space. They are the sole supply chain for this kind of procurement, and the only ones doing it on the blockchain. Not having any competition is a big bonus. Number 10, their utilization of a tokenized ecosystem incentivizes use of the platform. So the fact that you're getting rewarded for recommending people, or you're getting rewarded for actually putting your company on the platform is something that will drive use of it and will also attract people to use it. Number 11, they have stellar partnerships. They've covered all the bases as far as partnerships are concerned, not only from running the ICO regulatory compliance, but also in what they actually do, in terms of their locale, where they're located in San Francisco and California and Silicon Valley, and also with their academic partnerships as well. Number 12, and finally for the positives, the roadmap is quite detailed and it's not too long. Implementation will happen at the end of this year, so you won't have long to wait before there is really good news, and I'm sure they will be releasing good news on a regular basis up until the formal platform launch. So there was only a couple of negatives that I noticed. The first one is obviously the high total supply of 1 billion tokens. That may put some potential investors off. The circulatory supply will probably be around 350 million when it hits the exchanges. So not overly concerning, but again, it might put some people off. 1 billion tokens is quite a lot. 2, the industry may be reluctant to adopt this. It is an industry that's stuck in its ways. It has been for years. You know, it may be a lot of these manufacturing companies may be reluctant to adopt new technologies to drive their business forward, and it will be to their disadvantage. But it certainly won't be easy for SyncFab to convince all these companies to jump on board. Hence why the tokenization of the ecosystem is so important, to give them that incentive to jump on and join in. And number 3, and finally, private pre-sales had high bonuses, 45, 50% at private pre-sale, and private pre-sale may have been even higher. So that's undisclosed, but that's quite high and something to bear in mind if you're considering investing. So the final verdict then, and I've got a little quote from Mr. Albert Einstein here. The world we have created is a product of our thinking. It cannot be changed without changing our thinking. And I'm going to rate this ICO 4.5 out of 5 stars. There's very little negatives about this ICO. I think it's a good investment. It's a solid investment for the reasons I've just outlined in the positives and negatives. And in fact, when I was going through this ICO, I already knew about it, as I've said, and I was going through it, and I just decided, you know what, the heck, I'm gonna go and invest now. I wasn't taking the risk of missing out on this one, so I invested halfway through this this review, and then went back to the review. So I'm already in. It's up to you whether you get in, as usual. I only make these videos for entertainment purposes. This is not financial advice, guys. I can't stress this enough. If you take your opinions from people on the internet, then you know you run a very high risk. So if you're going to invest in any ICO, bear in mind there's always inherent risk. They're no guarantee of making any returns. If you do want to invest, do your own research, do your own due diligence, and always invest cautiously, and always invest wisely, and always invest only what you can afford to lose, yeah? All right, so another disclaimer, I don't get paid for these reviews. This is purely an opinion of mine. This interested me, this project, and that's why I decided to do it this morning. Also, a lot of people were asking me to do a review of this, so I thought I would bow to peer pressure. But I'm glad I did, because I really enjoyed this. I thought, going through the material, it's very, very well presented. It's an excellent project, I think, and as I said, I've already backed it. So if you enjoyed the review, please like, please subscribe, and click on the bell icon for notifications. I'll be back tomorrow with another review, probably another ICO, because it seems to be, there's so many of them now, I can just keep churning them out. The market's in a bit of a slump today, if you've probably noticed. Loads of bad news coming one after the other. So yeah, I'm going to stay away from the tokens at the moment until I find one that's quite attractive at a reasonable price. And I'll continue doing the ICO reviews, because I think they're a bit of a safe haven at the moment, and probably a better investment. Okay, that's me for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.